Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Wednesday. I hope it finds you well. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. I'll just tell you right now, we've got a silver extravaganza. Go to allamericangold.com, hit the shopping cart button. Cases of silver eagles. It's insanity. We're talking thousands of dollars less than the big online competitors. Thousands of dollars less. And here's the great part. You don't have to buy 3 cases to get their cheapest price. And their cheapest price, we're still $1,500, less than them. Rolls of silver eagles on sale. Same thing. We're like $100 a roll less. Check it out. $50 rolls. We still got some left. So those are available as well. allamericangold.com or call the 800 number, 800-951-0592. Cases of silver eagles today, $19,500. Nobody, I couldn't find anything even close to the $20,000 range. I think one place I found, they did have a case, and it was a weird deal, but it was $20,600, but that was only one, and then everybody else, we were talking about $22,000 plus out there. Rolls of silver eagle, $785. Most of the places, Jason, $885. And again, same thing. You got to buy it in volume. We got single rolls at $785, and then rolls of $50 at $250. Silver is up again today, but again, that's something for everybody's price range. Hey, you guys, hey, I don't have a ton of money. We got $50 at $250. I got a little bit of money. Hey, we got rolls of silver eagles, $785. Hey, I want to make a splash. We got cases at $19,500, and it's a silver extravaganza on this Wednesday.
And silver's up today, so those $50 are even a better deal than they were yesterday. So jump on those $50 or jump on those silver eagles, and you got to stack it. You got to stack it, and with the more and more I watch, I do a lot of YouTube video watching, and I look at other things on the internet to see what other people's opinions are, what's going on, and I've never seen such a swell in people talking about gold and silver. It's just out of control. I mean, I've looked at this a while, Joe, and I think there's more chatter about gold and silver now than I've seen. So it shows you that a lot of people have their minds on it. When there's a lot of people have their minds on it, that means a lot more people buying it, and that usually means the price going up, Joe.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, you're right about that. Everybody in my circle, of course, they know what I do, but it's amazing. The people that talk about it, then it always works out. Hey, this is my buddy Joe did it. You meet these guys, whether it's on the golf course, maybe the bowling alley. Oh, that conversation always comes up. Hey, what do you do? And ultimately, I own a radio station. I own a gold company. I'm on the radio. Oh yeah, you got a voice for radio, but then. When they get down to it, they find out, I own a gold and silver company. Every one of them, hey, can I get your card? Right? Okay, I need to get involved in that. How do I get a hold of you? That is absolutely something, man. When I first started, that never happened. Like you told people, I work, I sell gold and silver coins. They're like, oh, what? You're one of those wackos, right? You're one of those wacko guys, right? Yeah, man, it's amazing how much the mindset has changed over the last 20 years, and it all has to do with complete recklessness. I mean, look at today. One day, the debt jumped $395 billion. We're now at $32.8 billion. Like I said, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the Treasury to finish their ramp up. Jason, when we think about it, hey, come August, we're going to be talking about deficits for, getting ready to hit $33 trillion.
Oh boy, yeah, and that's a number that just gets bigger and bigger every month, every year, right? So this leap that it's going to take to fill up the checkbook, so to speak, is just going to maybe turn some heads. I don't know, maybe not, Joe. It seems like everybody's pretty comfortable in just living in the false reality that everything's going to be okay, but it's not. Financially, this world is heading for some turbulent places, and this is why you got to buy gold, silver. This is why you protect yourself and the turbulence. You won't be as sick as the next guy, right, Joe, when the turbulence hits.
That's right. You're going to be in a better spot. It's just that simple. It's funny because I went out to U.S. Debt Clock, because you like to watch it.
I'm looking at it.
Yep. Right, how fast it goes. So I was looking at the interest on the debt and defense spending. And right now, the defense spending and Medicare, Social Security, and then the interest, it's just going faster than the rest because by the end of the year, we already know. But right now, for every dollar of defense spending, the debt's going up by three times that. So for the debt to go up, and this is the interest payments. This is the interest payments on the debt, right? So interest payments go up $100,000, right? Defense spending only went up $30,000. I mean, this is how fast it's moving.
Interest per adult on the U.S. debt is $14,477. I don't know about you, Joe. I don't know if they're pulling that down to me directly, but I know that's an average, right? Boy, that's a lot.
Right. Well, listen, look at it this way. Interest on the debt now, by the end of the year, will be a case of silver, right? A case of silver at $19,500. That's your payment for the interest on the debt. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. (800-951-0592) Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Wednesday. A quick look into the markets. The Dow about even right now. The S&P is down. The NASDAQ is down. Gold is down 6 right now. 1960. Silver is up 15 cents, 23.85, as the Bank of Canada, with a surprise rate hike today, which has now gotten the markets thinking, right, maybe the Fed isn't going to pause here. If you're tired of the nonsense, if you're tired of the debt ceiling, if you're tired, think about yesterday when we had Weiss ratings. Brown was out on Glenn Beck talking about, hey, listen, we got 3,000 banks that are in deep, deep trouble. And, of course, the problem is those banks start going, then all the banks are in deep, deep trouble, and the Fed really just kind of posing here. And you're left with these choices of, well, let me leave my money in the bank and hope that the Treasury will bail it out, right? We'll just slap it on to the national debt. Why not? Right? Let's just slap another 2, 3, 4, 5 trillion on to the debt. Of course, what would your money be worth then? Or, hey, there isn't a bailout and you get left with a certificate that says, hey, somewhere down the road later, maybe you get some of your money back, or you look for other places. Gold and silver is one of those places. Our friends over at Y-Refi, it's not for everybody, right? Because you got to have at least $50,000, but you get high fixed rates of return, not correlated to Wall Street. It doesn't matter. I don't know what Wall Street's going to do. But I don't. Half the people think Wall Street's going to kind of stay where it is for the rest of this year. The other half of the people think it's going to be cut in half or cut, 30, 40%. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, you go out to Y-Refi, get great fixed rates of return, invest, YREFI.com. That's the word invest, the letter Y, REFY.com. Or just call them at 888-Y-REFI-24. Not only did we have a one-day blow-up in the debt, and get ready, I mean, that's just going to happen, right? We know. Hey, somewhere here, 6 weeks from now, the debt's going to be approaching $33 trillion. It just is what it is. And that's just catching up from the debt ceiling emergency. We're not stopping there. We're talking about in the next 7 years. Best case. Listen, I'm giving you best case. $50 trillion. And I have no idea. I don't even want to guess at what the Fed's balance sheet would be. I don't want to even guess. I don't, because I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a lot higher in the next 7 years than it is now, and already now it's over $8 trillion. I mean, Jason, these are things that really leave you scratching your head. The trade deficit number blew up again, right? Again, in other words, this is all this money leaving the United States, and it's something where the rest of the world and the primary people that we're buying stuff from. We know China, we know that, but it's India, it's Brazil, it's the Middle East, it's these countries that are on the record saying we want to get rid of dollars, Jason.
Yeah, and I wonder, because I've been, like I said on the last segment, I've been watching some of this chatter about gold and silver as you talk about, the debt and these problems that are being caused by the inflation. Even Catherine Austin Fitts, she threw something out that I didn't even fathom, but I guess you've talked about this briefly before. What about the chance of an overnight adjustment in gold that's up massively higher? These guys are talking $30,000 gold, which just obviously seems ridiculous under normal economic situations. But inflating their way out of the debt, is a possibility of what they're trying to do, Joe. What is the possibility? Catherine Austin Fitts is 3,500% overnight. That's $700,000 gold. I'm like, and she's talking, hyperinflation. And I'm wondering, Joe, you have one gold coin, you buy a house, sort of thing. What kind of? Do you think that's even possible? I think it's possible, but do you think that's even possibly likely that in some lower level of that, where these guys are talking $30,000 gold?
Well, let me just say that what she's referring to. So and I'm going to say technically, right? Because I don't know, but they tell us that, hey, Fort Knox, we've got 8,000 metric tons of gold. That's what they say, and it's not all in Fort Knox. I guess about half of that number is sitting in Fort Knox, and they have some at West Point. And I want to say, and I could be wrong, I think Denver has some as well. But yes, again, we say that our holdings are 8,000 metric tons, and what she's really referring to and talking about is right now on the government's balance sheet, the gold is still valued at what it was before we went off the gold standard. All right, so 1971, Richard Nixon, $42. Now, one of the things that the government can do in talking about the debt, one of the ways that they could say, hey, it's okay, because we now have revalued all of our gold. Now, they could revalue it at the current price. Let's just say today. Well, we're going to revalue it from $42 to $1,956. Everyone will be like, oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's a flea fart in a hurricane, right? That's what my old bosses from Texas used to use that expression, right? In order for it to have merit and value, yes, you're talking about gold would have to be $20,000 to $30,000 an ounce, and then the government could say, see, it's fine because we could pay off the debt by selling our gold. That's kind of the one. It's an option, right? What isn't an option is just revaluing it at today's price, because that's not a big enough impact. But if they did that, then in theory, people would feel more comfortable continuing to buy U.S. debt.
And what about the currency, changing the currency, let's say, to a digital dollar, and then that sort of situation where maybe gold is a stopgap for people to trust the new currency, And that's where the 30,000 comes in, Joe. Where hey, we're making
and
a
again,
change.
well, you got to remember who else has a lot of gold, right? And I'm not talking about China or
Central
Russia.
banks.
I'm talking about Italy, Spain, Portugal, France, Germany. These are all nations that have huge deficits, right? They've got huge balance sheets. I mean, the only bank really left out, England would be left out, and I think Japan. I'd have to look. I'm not sure what Japan holds. I don't think they hold a lot, but I could be wrong on that. But it would be a way for a lot of the world, and it may make sense when you're trying to figure out why are all these central banks buying all this gold. This could be something where back behind closed doors, hey, by the way, everyone, be ready. This could be, we may do this here. And if you've got gold put away, it's going to be better for you. I don't know but it's an option. You can't rule it out.
And the reason I brought it up is because recently with the M2 money supply starting to go down, the debt clock that we've been looking at for years suddenly just shut off the dollars versus gold and the dollars versus silver ratios, which was usually gold 30,000 and silver like 3 or 5, 600, whatever it was. So it's kind of interesting, Joe, to see the debt clock has shut off that number, or maybe more people are coming and looking at that, and then their excuse is, well, the M2 money supply is going down, and since all their numbers are ticking up, maybe it's just a programming thing. But it's interesting because if they did that, Joe, and they reposition the value of gold versus dollars or whatever new currency replaces it, that would be the number, right? And then that would be a way to so-called fix their economic situation because they'll have inflated their way out of their problem, at least temporarily.
Well, and again, it's something like I said, it fixes the balance sheet problem of a lot of nations if they did that. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if the balance sheet problem could be fixed by saying, well, let's just value gold at the current price. Wouldn't that be nice? But again, that's so insignificant. And especially when you think about, okay, let's just think about 2030, because that's not that far. It's not that far. 2030. You're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, and this is, I'm guessing here. I'm going to guess our national debt is north of 60 trillion. Okay. Now, the Fed's balance sheet, I hate guessing, but I'll throw a guess out there. I don't know, 25 trillion, maybe 30. Between the two, we will be how about this? I think this is fair enough. We'll be in earshot of $100 trillion of debt. And that is something where obviously already, look at right now. Right now, we've passed 40 trillion. And we're approaching 41 trillion right now. And we're already seeing cracks in the system. Right, we're already seeing the cracks in the system. Look at all the financial institutions. Look how much trouble they're all in. And now imagine it. Okay, let's just double that number. Okay, now we're at like 85 trillion. How much worse do you think it's going to be? And gold could absolutely be one of those things that now for the U.S., the only question will be, okay, do we really have? Hopefully, we really have it. Right? That's what I hope. I don't know. The last head of the mint that actually said he saw the gold was Moy, and he was talking about he was at Fort Knox and he looked into one of the vaults and said that this was the pre-33 gold that was melted down. By the way, that is the vast majority of our gold holdings, is the gold that they took from the citizenry in 1933. Now, according to him, Jason, they melted it into these bars, but they didn't take the impurities out. Because remember, the pre-1933, they put copper in there, give it a harder, because they were, you used it, right? Otherwise, and you've seen it. You've seen some of the junk silver, especially the older junk silver coins, right? They're all kind of worn out because, it got used so much. So they put copper in the gold to give it hardness. But they didn't take the impurities out, which is odd. And according to Moy, you could even, on a lot of the bars, you could still make out the coins. Like he said, I could see Lady Liberty's face, or I could see the tail side of the coin. I could see parts of the coin still in there. So today you're supposed to have that purity, right? It's a 400 ounce bar, and it's approximately 400 ounces. They're not exactly 400 ounces. Some are 399.25, some are 400.27. But the purity level of 9995, that's what you get like on the Comex or in London. We don't even have that. So it's interesting though, Jason. It's definitely a very big option, and it could be something that could be done very easily. Obviously, those that hold gold would make out significantly better. But listen, it's just like in 1933. Who really took advantage of what happened in 1933 when the government confiscated gold? Only two types. Foreign governments who didn't have to turn their gold in. Okay? Their gold went from $20 overnight to $35, and then all the citizenry that had collectible U.S. gold also benefited. Why we like private gold, isn't it? 800-951-0592. When we get back, China's taking over another industry.